welcome to our live show across different social media platforms. Today we are live streaming on our Twitter Live, on Binance Live, and let me check if we are also, yes, we are also on our Twitch Live. So people from different platforms could watch our live streaming sessions. And I would like to say GM to everyone in Web3. I would like to say also GM to Nick. Yeah, it's just about 7 a.m. For Nick's time zone. Oh my, it's really, really early. And Nick, we're glad to have you over here. Would you like to introduce yourself and your project to us?
Yes. Thank you so much, GM. Appreciate being on here. My name's Nick Kalyani, and I'm the founder of Vitruvio. It's an L1 blockchain. It's different because it's a blockchain for creators. Basically, what problem we are solving is that creators, artists in particular, can make a sustainable living through their art. The existing systems that we have for NFT sales require artists to spend 80% of their time doing marketing and only 20%, creating art. And I don't know any artist who wants to be doing marketing. They would rather be creating art. So that's another problem. And then the fact that there are no standards in NFT have caused about 84% of the art market, which includes large art institutions, etc., to just stay on the sidelines. They're not entering Web3. And finally, the amount of UX friction we have in crypto makes it really difficult. So we decided to solve all these problems, and that's Vitruvio, the blockchain for creators. So in a nutshell, what we are doing is focusing on creators, and we actually borrowed a page from Apple's playbook, and we are creating a vertically integrated ecosystem for creators. So the blockchain is the foundation, but on top of that, we've got apps, smart contracts, we've got resources, workshops, and of course, marketing for creators. So that in a nutshell is what Vitruvio is about, and we can certainly dive into more details of it as we go through the call.
Wow, so Vitruvio is kind of like a one-stop shop for any artists who are in Web2 and interested in learning more about the Web3 space and perhaps, put their artworks on the blockchain, right? This is so cool. So Vitruvio is not, and also it's not just a blockchain, but also with a lot of marketing service. And what led you to establish a Vitruvio blockchain? Because we know that there are so many public chains right now, right? And we know that you wanted to help artists to find a way, right? A platform, right? To be able to distribute their artwork. But is that going to just focus on art and also any other behind the scenes stories that you like to share with us during the journey? Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. So we are focused on creators. We are starting with visual artists first, then we're going on to music, then movies, gaming, books, and so on and so forth. So I've been involved in the crypto art ecosystem for the past 2 years. I've spoken to probably over 1,500 artists at this point, and I understand the problems very deeply. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I've had 5 prior startups, 3 exits, two failures. So I know a little bit about tech ecosystems. I actually live in Silicon Valley, and so have a very sort of Silicon Valley approach to solving problems, which is figure out, at the first principles level, what can be done to solve the problem. And so as I encountered so many artists and I understood the space better, it became apparent to me that the horizontal approach that is there right now on, let's say, Ethereum, Tezos, Solana, is doomed for failure. And that's evident already right now. You have a very small number of collectors and a very large number of artists. And so you end up with a situation where artists are chasing sales all the time, and maybe they get a sale once every 6 months or something like that. And there really isn't any business model there that is designed to give artists a sustainable income, a steady state income. And we have found that business model. And our model with the blockchain is to essentially align the incentives, the financial incentives for crypto investors with the incentives for artists. And I think having an L1 blockchain gives us a freedom to do a lot of different things there. So my journey in working with all these artists, and I collect NFTs prolifically. I have probably around 7,500 of them at this point. And so I really deeply understand the needs of artists, but and I understand the gap. And the gap is that there is not a very coherent business model that allows NFTs to scale up. And also, we have underutilized the ability of the blockchain platform to really monetize art. What I mean by that is we are focused primarily on ownership, of NFT of art. But look, in the past 400 years, we haven't created legions of art collectors. There's a reason for that. Not everyone wants to be an art collector, but most of us are art appreciators. Like, we have a painting, or a picture on our wall somewhere in our home, but that doesn't mean that we want to collect 100 or 1,000 of them. So that's the sort of secret sauce, if you will, is instead of focusing on trying to get everyone to collect NFT art, what we want to do is have a way for people to experience more art. So the unlock that we are doing with our business model and the protocol is we are creating mechanisms by which art can be streamed. So we are almost you can describe it as the Spotify for art, because there's a growing trend for people to have digital frames in their homes, whether they are small or mounted on a wall, or if you have displays like Samsung Frame, etc., that are dedicated for that. And of course, you have devices like Apple TV, etc. So we are targeting those because there's a lot of opportunities there to display art in all kinds of scenarios: your living rooms, your offices, your hotel lobbies, hospitals, airports, etc. So that range is potentially infinite. So that's one vector. The other vector is also print on demand. We are fast growing in an economy where people like personalized goods. And wouldn't it be great if you had a one-of-one shirt or a one-of-one purse or a scarf or something like that was created just for you? The art is just for you, So those are the kinds of vectors that we are unlocking, which make it possible for artists to have a sustainable income over time. So that's what Vitruvio is all about.
Oh, this is very good, because just like you said, right? Artists, most of the artists that I know also only wanted to spend most of their time to create their artwork instead of doing marketing, right? So normally they will have an agent or agency to help them to promoting their artwork. However, yeah, there are still a lot of things happening between an agency or agent with the artist. So if it could be on chain, and if artists could deploy it on chain with the help of Vitruvio, that would be great. Thank you, Nick, for sharing all the details with us. And the next question over here, could you please let us know why will creators use the Vitruvio blockchain, and also what if they are like Web3 newbies? How do they know how to use your project? Are there any ways that you would guide them or teach them, or would you do all the blockchain works for them?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful question. But I want to address the point you raised earlier first about agents, etc. So if you think about the general art ecosystem right now, separate from Web3, there are agents, there are galleries, they're essentially gatekeepers. It is not possible for artists to sort of break out without having someone represent them. So that's one problem. And the second problem is, it turns out that the financial model there is not very favorable for artists, because the artists get a small percentage of the actual revenue that the agents and galleries get. So those are two other problems that exist, and we've decided that Web3 is a great model to sort of bring fairness into that equation. So now getting to your question around, artists who don't know anything about Web3 who want to get into the space. Well, as I mentioned earlier, that's 84%. 84% of the market is still not on there. And we are actually targeting them, not just from the artist side of the equation, but also from the buyer side of the equation. So everything we are doing, you could actually call it a Web 2.5 approach to it, because what we want to do is make it super seamless for an artist who doesn't know anything about crypto to come on board and to get their works listed and to earn money. And in order to do that, the tooling we're doing, everything we're building, etc., is geared around a Web 2 mindset. So you sign in with an email address, and if you don't know anything about crypto, that's fine. We will create behind the scenes a custodial wallet for you. So under the hood, you've got all the crypto work that's needed. But as far as you, the artist, goes, for you, it's all a Web 2 world. It's things that are familiar to you. So we do it. We are already creating workshops on a regular basis for artists, and we intend to amplify that significantly as we progress. The stage we are in right now is we just recently launched our mainnet, and we did an open call for Genesis artists. So we have 1,000 artists. We are onboarding now. We are going through our beta process, helping them understand how our model works, and they are helping us test out our software. And as we get toward the end of January and early February, we'll do another cohort of artists, and after that we'll make it open to all artists in general. So we are talking about basically about 30 to 45 days from the point where we can start onboarding all these artists. Now, I mentioned that's the artist side of the equation. We want to make it super simple, but we're also doing it from the buyer side of the equation, where as far as buyers are concerned, we want to make it as simple as scan a QR code and use Apple Pay, Google Pay, etc., and pay with your credit card. And we'll take care of handling the crypto transfers and all of that behind the scenes, under the hood. So as far as buyers are concerned, they don't need any crypto knowledge, and we'll give them a custodial wallet also if they buy an NFT, where it's accessible with their email address, and when they're ready, they can transfer it to a crypto account. So from both sides of the equation, we want to make it super simple.
That is great. Yeah, making all the blockchain technology super simple for artists, because you know what, I have been trying to onboarding artists, and we know art could be many different formats, right? I've been trying to onboarding musicians to Web3, or other content creators like gamers, right, to Web3. However, yeah, the thing is that it's always education, and the technology barriers that they feel like, oh, it's so difficult. Let's just give it up. Things like, well, we could also survive in Web3, Web2, right? So we don't necessarily need to come to Web3. So it's kind of like this kind of mindset. That is why we don't really see many musicians or artists, right? Especially already established artists.
Absolutely. Like music's a challenging domain there, and we intend to tackle it right after visual artists. And the reason we picked visual artists first is because they're already sort of in crypto, and there's already an established model for it. So we want to build upon that, but we are acutely aware of the problems that the music industry and musicians face, especially with the PROs and things like that. So we are ready to tackle that problem, and we believe we can be very successful in it.
That is great, because the reason why music or other like visual content is so difficult to put on chain and put up for sale is because copyright, right? Each video or each part of a song, right? Within a song, there might be like copyrights that we need to divide between a small team, right, of content creators. So that is why it make things more difficult to do, and also they might also already sign contract in Web2 with other agencies, and that's the reason I used to work in the music NFT industry, so I know how difficult it is to onboarding artists, and that's why I had that question. Thank you so much, Nick, for answering all the questions to us. You're definitely an expert. Oh my! And let's continue the discussion over here. I also would like to know about some over here is that current concerns in Web3 space, right? And how do you build trust among artists, especially for most of the artists, we have to be honest, and they really have zero knowledge about Web3, right? How do you make them to trust and to want to put their artwork on the blockchain, and also to follow all of other marketing strategies with your team? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question, and if you don't mind sharing the slide I have up there, I think it'll be useful for people. It's interesting that you asked about trust, because really that's the underpinning of everything we are doing. Our protocol is designed to seamlessly deliver what is missing in Web3 art today, and that's trust. And the way we approach it is basically take a 5-prong approach to it, and I'll be quick about it because I could talk about this for a long time. But the first thing is about transparency. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that everyone understands who the creators are, because we have a lot of scammers in the space, etc. And so we do something called zero knowledge KYC, where we have external providers who will do a KYC with the creator, and they can choose a level they want that they're comfortable with. The blockchain and the protocol doesn't know any details about it. They just know that the creator has cleared level 3 of KYC. So that's the first thing. So if you are creating a marketplace and you want to be able to have a creator sell something at, say, for $100,000, it's nice to know that they are an L5. They have a KYC at that level. So that's one thing. The next thing is standards. So NFTs today have no standards at all. What we are doing is we are implementing the same industry standards that are used by top museums in the world, like the Louvre or MoMA, etc. It's called linked art. And so the metadata that goes in with these artworks conforms to an industry standard. That serves two purposes. One, it's standard, right? So it makes your art searchable, and it can be integrated with search engines and search applications for art that already exist. But the other thing is also that it allows better discovery, because people can do more granular searches and say, for example, that if I want to see all landscapes that have a blue color tone that was made by artists from the Middle East, boom, I can do that kind of granular search and have results show up, which is impossible to do today if you go to the existing marketplaces, etc. So that's a problem. So and we've solved that with industry metadata. The third thing is, right now, you have marketplaces that are silos. So an artist has to decide, which marketplace do I list on? OpenSea, Foundation, whatever. And then they also have to decide which chain to go on, right? So we have thrown that out the window. We said that one of the things that we want to do is, at the protocol level, allow artists to consign their artwork. So consign is just a fancy word for register their artwork. So they register their artwork with the blockchain, and then any marketplace that is built on top of our protocol, whether it's an app or a gallery or a marketplace, consumes the feed from the blockchain, from the protocol level. So artists don't have to think, oh, which marketplace do I list in? All of them is the answer. Your work can be available in all of them, because the way our system works is to enable blockchain-based licensing. So as an artist, when you register your artwork, you specify licenses that also conform to industry standards. So YouTube uses Creative Commons. That's the same standard we use. So as an artist, you can say that I want to license my work for NFTs. I want to license it for print, for streaming, for stock. And for each of those, you can provide different terms, different pricing models, etc. And any marketplace on our blockchain that wants to purchase a license does that programmatically through on-chain transaction. And that's when an NFT is actually minted. So right now, the broken model in current NFT is artists have to mint first and then hope for a sale. And if that doesn't happen, they burn their artwork, which is really, really inefficient. So with our model, the minting happens on demand when there's a buyer, and it's based upon an on-chain license. We are actually doing on-chain tokenized licenses. So for example, if you want to use an artwork for print, you don't need an NFT for that. You just need a license that the artist has authorized you to print it on a shirt, and you're done with that. So we are fundamentally disrupting and changing how NFTs work and doing it for art.
That is exactly true, because Nick definitely point out the problem, right? Artists, launch a bunch of NFTs within a collection. Some collections with as high as like 10,000 pieces, right, in each of the collection pieces of artwork. And if they were not minted out, they have to burn it, right? So and when thinking about burning their artwork, the artists are, oh my, right? So that definitely causes a lot of trouble. So if by creating a new system, right, so it's on demand, means that's very good. It's kind of like people could also customize the artwork, right? Like they wanted to see on the blockchain. So certainly, I believe this is a great way to solve the problem that we have seen in the Web3 space as well. Thank you, Nick, for sharing everything with us. And yeah, and also once again, trust is really important. And when you have designed a mechanism, right, that's suitable for the artists to put their work in Web3, and also to solve a lot of issues that it's very quickly could build on trust. Thank you among Vitruvio and the artists over here. And how about the next question? So what does it mean when we say Vitruvio is the first layer 1 protocol with auto rebasing? What is this? Would you please share more details about these terms with us?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we are extremely proud of this feature. It's called rebasing. A simpler explanation of this is compound interest. So if you have a savings account in your bank, you put in some money, you put in $1, and then you look the next month and it's increased a little bit. You look next month and it's increased a little bit. That's because of compound interest. So we are the first protocol that has that capability built in, because what it does is allow the possibility for creators to have essentially passive income, that grows over time. Now, if you have this feature of rebasing in any blockchain cryptocurrency without any checks or balances, what you have is essentially an inflationary cryptocurrency. We didn't want that. So what we've done with Vitruvio is we've created a performance-based rebasing. So the protocol built right into the software of the protocol is a daily transaction goal. It starts on day 0 with 10,000, and every day it increases by 500. So on each day that the transaction goal is met, the cryptocurrency, meaning the ecosystem, all the holders are rewarded with compound interest. Their share grows a little bit. You can literally in your MetaMask or Trust Wallet or whatever see the number increase automatically. So this is passive income. You basically let your capital sit in your wallet, and as the ecosystem grows and it's more successful, your money goes. Now this is not forever. There's a cap. So we start at 60 million Vitrus, which is our native cryptocurrency, and we go up to 250 million. So we estimate it'll be about 5 to 7 years to get there. So by early adopter rewards, what we mean is all the creators, all the crypto investors who are supporting the initial growth of the blockchain, they can benefit most from this almost 5x their tokens.
Got it. Thank you. Wow. So it's kind of like a creator economy, right? And just like Nick says, their projects really wanted to solve the issues that we have seen in the Web3 space, and also to make Vitruvio is easy adapting to more artists. And so since you talk about earning, right? What's the utility of your token VTRU? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the native cryptocurrency of the blockchain. So everything, when you purchase an artwork, you pay with that. Anything you do on the protocol is paid with that. So that is the fundamental built-in utility of the coin.
Got it. And is it already have you already launched the token VTRU?
Yeah, so we are going to deliver. So we have an early set of investors, and they're going to be receiving their tokens here within the next 3 to 5 days. So that's the initial kind of delivery of the token. Yeah.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much, Nick, for answering the questions. And my next question is, so other than the artist, right? How can a normal, ordinary person like a Web3 user to be part of the Vitruvio ecosystem as well? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 2 ways for it. The first way is if you are interested in essentially being a part of the creator economy and you're not an artist, maybe you're an investor, or maybe you're just interested in learning more. So right now, what we have is we are selling NFTs. They're called boosters. And the ability of those boosters is to give you as a sort of a layperson who doesn't really know much about crypto, etc., the ability to benefit from this creator ecosystem. So boosters cost $150, and they give you some Vitru tokens, and they give you some a revenue share, a small portion of the revenue share that the blockchain is going to get. So that's one way for folks to get involved. The other way is really what we want to do is invite every artist, every gallery, every museum to be on there on Vitruvio. So if you, your friends, your family, etc., artists, etc., we encourage you to follow us at Vitruvio chain, and stay in tune, because we will have open calls for artists, etc., as we onboard them in larger and larger numbers. We will also have workshops for galleries to help educate them on how to get on board, etc. And so that's those are the ways in which you get involved. But if you go to our Twitter or our website, you can learn all about boosters, and it's super simple to buy one of those.
Nice. Yeah. So not just for artists, but also for all of the Web3 users. Like if you wanted to be part of the Vitruvio ecosystem, you could definitely participate in. Thank you for sharing with us. And Nick, we know that you work very hard, and you also spend of your time to build Vitruvio because you're a CEO and co-founder. What is your long-term vision for the company, and how do you plan to expand Vitruvio's offerings and attract a diverse range of artists and collectors? Thank you. Because we know art, that really say art is like very, very broad terminology, right? And what's your strategy for building a long-term project? Thank you.
Yeah, so Vitruvio is a blockchain for creators, right? So we are starting off with visual artists because we are familiar with that space, and they already are in Web3. But as I mentioned, we are going to start then moving on to music, and then movies, then gaming, books, etc. So we really want to cover and provide support for every kind of creator that exists. And this, as you know, is a very, very large ecosystem. So our long-term goal is really to make it possible for every creator in the world to have a sustainable income through their art. And when I say every creator, I don't mean just the creators who are in the developed world. I also think about artists, indigenous artists, who might be in places of the world that don't yet have Web3. If you think about Web3, the goal, the vision is to build more equality in the world, to give everyone an equal opportunity, right? But that Web3 has failed us in that. And we want to bring some success in that regard. So I actually went to the Amazon rainforest, to the villages of Paraguay, Argentina, etc., to meet with indigenous artists, to understand how they live. And based upon that, we have created essentially a Web3 model that involves NFTs to provide a sustainable income for those communities also. So we are starting out in the Amazon rainforest, but we're going to take that model and take it to Africa, to India, etc. So overarching on a big level, we want to make sure that every artist in the world can have a sustainable income. If you think about it, there are so many different professions, whether it's a doctor, an accountant, or a plumber, etc. When someone asks you for your profession and you give out one of those professions, people consider it legitimate. But if you tell them you're a creator or an artist, people go, okay, well, what's your real job? Because they don't consider art as a serious profession. We want to change that long term. And it might take us many years. It might take us 5 years, 10 years, but we will do it. And what we want to do is by changing the business model completely, where artists are not constantly looking for one sale at a time, but instead have a steady state, a recurring income, a salary, just like everybody else. We want to transform the profession and make it more legitimate, and make it so people can proudly hold their head up and say, I'm an artist. And that's it. End of story. That tells you everything. So that's the long-term goal. It's to really transform the world of art forever. And there's a secondary reason for that. If you look at our social media today, if you look at the news, if you look at video, you see a lot of polarization. You see a lot of animosity. You see people at each other's throats, being mean to each other, essentially. I feel, and so does many artists, that the antidote for that is art. So if we can get more art in people's lives, I feel that we can create a kinder, gentler world. And that's my overarching goal, is to help artists have a sustainable income, make the profession of art be a legitimate profession, and then overall create a kinder, gentler, and better world.
Wow, that is yeah, definitely. I like the vision of Nick's and Nick's plan for Vitruvio, because yeah, we certainly wanted to expand the services, right, to different areas of the art space. And art is really a lot of things, just like you say, right, not just visual art, but also music and dancing, right, so many different types, and sculpture, or yeah, other digital art, right? Digital artwork is certainly very popular in our Web3 space. Thank you, yeah, for Nick, for answering the question about yeah how you plan to expand Vitruvio's offering, and also to attract a diverse range of artists and collectors to the ecosystem. And could you please also provide some insights into user experience on Vitruvio? If you would like to share your website, please feel free to do so. And how would you make it accessible and user friendly for both experienced crypto enthusiasts and also newbies, right? We every day we have new friends joining us on Binance Live as well, and they watch us because they have questions and they want to learn more about Web3. So if you could guide us step by step on how people could use your platform, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. As I mentioned earlier, we're in the process of onboarding 1,000 Genesis artists right now. And what we are doing is essentially making it possible for them to go through the steps of uploading their artwork and figuring out the license model, etc. So while we are not yet ready for the public, we will be in about 45 days, and people can come on board. So thanks for sharing the slide here. What I want to talk a little bit about is our revenue model also, because I think that's important for folks to understand, especially artists, is how does that work? Well, as I mentioned earlier, the artists, any artists, they consign their work to the blockchain. And so in the blockchain, what we have is this repository, this collection of assets. Those are all your artworks, and they're available for anyone to sell for you. And that is a big unlock, is you, the artist, are not doing the selling. Other people are doing the selling for you. Now, why would other people do the selling for you? Well, it's because of the established model that has worked for decades. They make a profit. So what anyone can do is basically have your artwork, mark it up, and sell it. And we provide the tools for that. So buyers from different marketplaces, different dApps, even individuals. So if you have got a hobby and you've got a blog, we will provide you with the ability to embed a stream of artwork in there, which anyone can buy. And when they buy it from your website, you make money, right? So is this new or novel? Not at all. It's how business works with Amazon and many other companies. And so we are bringing that same model to Web3 because it works really, really well. And it solves a big problem. Artists are not marketers, but there are lots of people who are very proficient at marketing to their niche audiences. We want to tackle that. So we want to create thousands and thousands of sellers for these artists so that they don't have to worry about it. So fundamentally, buyers have websites where they have the artworks, and from there, when a buyer chooses to buy, it consumes a license that the artist has created, and then at that point, an asset is minted, and the buyer gets that NFT if they need it. If they don't need an NFT, if they just want to, for example, buy it for print, or if they want to buy it as a stock image for use in their marketing, they can do that. And the seller gets the whatever markup they have, and the blockchain gets 2%. So the artist always makes 100% of whatever their fee is. So if an artist lists an artwork for $100, then they get $100, and everything else comes on top of it. But these funds go into the blockchain, into the treasury, and then they're divided up. So the way the funds are divided up is a portion of it goes to the validators, the folks that run the computers that secure the blockchain. A portion of it goes through the boosters, which I was telling you about earlier, is the investors. So if you buy a booster for Vitruvio right now, you essentially get a portion of that 2% fee forever, for the life of the blockchain, which I think is a really, really great deal, because if you look at sort of sales of artworks just recently on OpenSea, etc., they are doing $1.5 billion a year, etc. And we intend to do not just visual artworks, but music, movies, etc. So this is about at least a $200 billion market, and we intend to capitalize on most of it. So this is essentially the revenue model, and we want to make it where the incentives, as I mentioned, are aligned for crypto investors and artists. So when artists sell and make money, crypto investors also make money, not only through the revenue share, but also from the Vitru coin appreciating in value, because it is a scarce resource.
Oh, got it. Yes, certainly. And thank you for pointing this out, because we definitely very interesting. Trying out the Vitruvio's platform. And friends, if you are new to today's streaming session, we are having a deep discussion with Nick. He is the CEO and co-founder of Vitruvio, and he has been guiding us on many different aspects of Vitruvio. It is not just a blockchain, but it is also, it actually includes a lot of different areas, and also helping artists in different formats, right? Creating different formats to also be able to onboarding to Web3 with easier methods. And thank you. And well, since that we know that you have been developing this project for a while, could you please also share any important partnerships or collaborations and some upcoming roadmaps or plans that the Vitruvio users could look forward to in the near future? Thank you.
Yeah, so let's take it from the perspective first of artists. And as I said, we are onboarding the Genesis artists right now, and we'll unleash it to a larger number of artists starting toward the end of January and all through the month of February and March, and then we'll open it all to the overall ecosystem. So we've started to develop partnerships with vendors in the space, and I have a few NDAs, so I can't really talk names, but we are really, really keen on making the recurring revenue model work. And so we are partnering with digital frame manufacturers to essentially create a Spotify-like subscription for art, so that artists who have their work on here can basically do nothing. They consign their work, and then when the artwork gets used in a bundle that is used by a subscriber for streaming, then they make money. So we have those. We're also working with academia. We want to make Vitruvio sort of a part of the curriculum of schools, that colleges, etc., where there's art and also engineering with computer science, etc. So we've started a few partnerships there, and what we are looking for is essentially the final sort of launch of our token, which is going to happen closer to the end of January, where we list it on an exchange, and that's when the commerce aspect of it really takes over. So the month of January for us is a month of testing our software, getting artists onboarded finally, and refining that software. But then we sort of open up the doors in the month of February. Our coin will be listed. Artists can sell their artworks, make money, and really just keep growing from that point forward.
That is very nice. Thank you so much for sharing all the information with us, Nick. And it's great to have you over here. And I see that I actually also found Vitruvio's white paper, and I would like to share my screen to our audience that you could take a look of Vitruvio's white paper, because reading a white paper is certainly a great way to understand a project. Let me share my screen over here, and I know that each of the project's white paper is spending a lot of time to complete it. So friends, if you could also spend some time to read the Vitruvio white paper, that would be great. And wow, and Nick, I got questions from the audience asking about who are the team members in the Vitruvio project, and do you like have any do you have any storefront or that people could reach out to you, or do you mainly work online and communicate over Twitter or any other platforms? Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've actually got a DAO we just set up. It's called Multiple Councils, and we've got a great team there of people who understand this domain. They are experts in each of their areas. So with the DAO setup, we've got a governance charter, and we're just getting started, right? So it's early days right now, but the DAO is councils are set up. And very shortly, like I said, in the next 3 to 5 days, through our community of around 10,000 folks, we're going to drop NFTs that give them the right to vote, so we can start voting on DAO issues, whether it's about the protocol or how the model changes. The great thing is that because we are not organized as a business, right? This is a protocol. It's open, it's decentralized. We have the ability for creators to chart their own course. They can vote on how things should shape and things should move forward. But we also understand that the concept of a DAO that's totally decentralized doesn't work. It has failed. So we are sort of semi-decentralized. We have some sort of voted in control, and most of it then is also delegated out to the community. So that's the model we are going with right now. So right now we are focused on launching and getting things going. So this is a great time to sort of join our community. If you go to our Twitter, you can find the links to our Discord. We'd love for you to join that. Please follow our Twitter at Vitruvio Chain. That's really the best way to get information. I'm at Tech Bubble on Twitter. You can follow me also. I post a lot about the things that we are doing, etc. But the best thing to do right now is to follow us on Twitter and join our Discord, because what we are doing is getting ready to, as I mentioned, beta test our software and then activate and make it open and available for everybody to partake in this and to really benefit from the new creator economy that we are creating.
That is very nice. And Nick, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing all the details with us. Today we have a very thoroughly understanding of Vitruvio, the project, and we also know a lot about what artists, right, could achieve, and also it's kind of like creator fight, right, and also how Web3 users could all participate and be part of the Vitruvio ecosystem. And I would like to once again share my screen one more time over here, because today's AMA session is actually featured on the front page of Binance Live. So everyone, if you go to binance.com/en, and then you will be able to see that we are featured over here on Binance Live. And you can see that on the calendar there are a lot of other shows, right? So only selected few AMA sessions or other Web3 shows could be featured on the front page. Your time with us. I know it must be very busy, and I also remember you said like you woke up at 4 a.m. right? Oh my.
Yeah, I like to wake up early because at that hour, like, my mind is very clear and I can be hyper productive, so I do like that, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come here and talk about Vitruvio. And I call out to every creator out there. We are building a blockchain for you. This is your blockchain, so come participate, join, make your voice heard, because we believe that Web3 has sparked a new renaissance, an NFT renaissance. And if you've been on the sidelines, if you've been waiting because it's been too much jargon, too difficult, etc., come work with us, because we are solving that exact problem. We want to make it super simple for every creator on the planet to benefit from this grand experiment that we call Web3.
That is very nice. Yes, the grand experiment. This is certainly is. Wow. Thank you so much, Nick. And we are very glad to be part of your journey and looking forward to hearing more from you. And next time, maybe if you wanted to, feel free to bring an artist over here, right?
I'd
To share
love to
about
do
their
that. I'd love to bring some of my artist friends here, and we can talk about what the future holds for this renaissance.
That is just brilliant. Thank you, Nick. I'm looking forward to it. We can have an art and tech session together with the Vitruvio team. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so
See
much
you
for
next
having me. I
time.
really appreciate it.
Thank you. And friends, we are going to continue to have our session ongoing because I'm going to do a replace of today's live session in case some friends missed our previous part, and lots of amazing information have been shared with all of us. So friends, be sure to give Vitruvio a follow on Twitter as well, that you could also participate in their journey. And we're looking forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you, Nick. Feel free to click on
Thanks.
the leave us still button and continue your day or take a break. Thank you. See you.